Let me hear you scream. It's the Wu Worldwide DJ Coalition.
BDSIR Network, the best damn show in worldwide radio. Rocks the spot, R920, International Fleet Radio, sponsored by Got the Juice. Who got the juice now? I need to acknowledge me, the one-man army, Grant Body P. And look who me find. Look who me find. She's back, people. Wow, come out of exile. Onni D in the building, acknowledge the Empress. What's going on?
Hi guys, there's a lot going on, but it's an honor to be on the show today because we've got somebody on the show who is amazing. And I'm going to take you back to Grant Body P because I've got nothing to say because he's going to tell everyone exactly who this person is, and it's just an honor to have him on the show today.
It is an honor. It is an honor. People, Onni's right, man. I mean, I know back in 1992, 1993, when I heard Proteck Ya Neck for the first time, I never thought this would ever happen. This is apparently the guy, not even apparently, this is the guy responsible, people. This is the guy responsible for putting all that together. This is the guy responsible for making Proteck Ya Neck happen. So people, what an honor and privilege. I need you to stand up, standing ovation for this man. I need you to acknowledge one of the creators of Wu-Tang Records. I need you to acknowledge this business consultant, artist management, promotions and marketing, brand ambassador. I need you to acknowledge John Klass Hamilton. What an honor and privilege. Welcome to the RePPiN4U Hip Hop Show. Wow. Starstruck, man.
Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
This man is a legend for distributing Wu-Tang music.
Yes. Thank you very much. It's an honor. And I'm very, very just overwhelmed by the love and support that you guys have shown me. Yes, we have a lot to touch on. You know, I'm here for all questions. I would like you guys to definitely feel free to engage with me. This has been a long journey for me, starting from 1992, when I first, put my blood, sweat, and tears behind, the whole movement, the Wu-Tang Clan movement. And, there's certain things in life that God makes, happen and not happen for you. This is why you guys in the public don't know who I am. You understand? Like physically by face, okay? But if you look on all of their material from 36 Chambers, Proteck Ya Neck, you'll see my name on the management. So, I'm just one of those missing persons, but it's an honor once again to be here with Michael Grant Harvey in the RePPiN4U show. And let's get it.
Let's get it indeed. I want to ask you this, Klass. Did you catch the BET Awards by any chance?
No, I did not, unfortunately. If there's anything juicy to tell me about, I'm here,
It's a little jaws. It's a little jaws. It's the BET Awards. And I believe it was something else that happened after that. You know what I mean? It was Loud Record. So there was like a special performance, which included a load of artists like Fat Joe, 3-6 Mafia, Mobb Deep, and all them people there. You know what I mean? And of course, the boys themselves, the clan themselves, they was on the BET Awards. Saluting Loud Records. Check for that, man. You know what I mean? And someone else on my Facebook put me onto something else as well. I haven't got around to that was it. Pastor Mike. There was on Pastor Mike as well. So you had Method Man, Redman, RZA, Raekwon, Ghostface, Havoc, Swizzy, The Lux, MLP, Busta Rhymes, and more. Apparently, I even got around to the person. Shout out to Lady Carkina Carter. She's the one responsible.
Yes.
She's time of this interview, I haven't checked it yet, but apparently it was
Yes.
epic, man.
So
I'm epic.
yes, that sounds like a very grand anniversary there. And salute to Loud Records, Steve Rifkin and the staff. It's definitely an honor to have been a part of the project, the 36 Chambers, with that label and organization. Right now, it's just linking back in, tapping back in, and letting the public know and staying active and bringing great music and great film and art to the masses again. Very proud to be a pioneer of the culture and of one of hip hop's greatest. You know, that being said, I gave my all, and thank God that we definitely are here and we're still making people happy 30 years later.
Most definitely. We want to know a lot about you. Where did music start for you? How did it start? Where was the beginning? We want to know more about you as a character.
Okay, well, let me tell you about John Klass Hamilton. I'm from New York. I was born in Harlem, New York, but I was raised in Brooklyn and primarily South Jamaica, Queens, and Staten Island, respectively. So the way it went, basically, I'm from Queens. I'm from Queens. That's where I was raised since like 10 years old. My father's side is from Staten Island, which is known as Park Hill to the world today. My grandmother lived in 55 Bowen, which is known as Park Hill, Staten Island. That's the projects, of course. But I visited out there from say 10 to around say 14 every summer. And during that time, you know, I got to know the neighborhood. You know, thank God for my mom, you know, and my dad taking me to that side of my family, because I was able to leave Jamaica, Queens, and go out to Staten Island, which many people didn't know about them. They were like a forgotten borough. You know, it was either Brooklyn, Queens, but Staten Island, nobody knew about anything as far as music or anything. So those are the early days. And now let's get to where I got into music. So I'm just taking on where I had a connection to Staten Island as a young teen, a young kid, 10 years old. That was my first time out there, and I kept going out there all my life from that point. All right, so I got intertwined with the community. I got to know everybody as kids growing up, from going out there so regularly through the summers and so forth. But like I said, I'm primarily from South Jamaica, Queens. I went to school out there, and when I first got interested in music, you know, I say I was around, say, 13, 14, and I was I'm in Queens, so music became a big influence. You know, say Run DMC, LL Cool J, they are from Queens, not far from my area. So as a kid, seeing those guys, actually being able to see them in public, because I would see LL in public, I would see Run DMC in public. So those are like the first people that I could see from my neighborhood on a big scale, watching video, music box, you know, the box show. So those were the things like, oh my God, you know, I really love this music. And I'm like, you know, 11, 12, 13, watching these guys. So I'm like, wow, I never knew at that moment I would be a part of it. So let's get to where the music first hit me now. Say 15 now, I'm a problem for my mom. So my mom sends me to my grandmother to stay in Staten Island, to go to school actually for a year. Okay, so now from 10 to 15, I'm already visiting out there. I know everybody. But this is now, I go to school in Staten Island called New Dorp High School, which was a brand new school. It was primarily Caucasian. We were bused from Park Hill Projects to this school, which was 45 minutes away. And so basically, when I went to school, I was also in school with Inspector Deck, Raekwon, Capadonna. So I didn't only know them from the neighborhood. Now I'm actually in school with them. I'm in high school. Okay, so now we're beating on the lunch tables, Inspector Deck, you know, honing rhyming skills, Raekwon rhyming skills, Kappa was in my class when I went to school there. Right. So this is the year that, New Dorp High School. So All right, so now let's just say, you know, things happened. We know we got into little things, and I got booted out the school after 1 year. Got kicked out because, you know, we caused a riot. It was a riot. People know about those. If they're from Staten Island and they went to New York, they know about those riots. You know. So yes, I got kicked out after 1 year. So now I get sent back to Queens because my grandmother's like, look, I can't take them. I can't control them out here. And at this time, I'm in the music scene in Staten Island as well. In the projects, they were having a lot of block parties and a lot of, it's called the rec room. So they would have a lot of parties inside the rec room of these buildings, of the projects. So every time I came on the weekends, I really looked forward to a party in Park Hill. And that's how my connection of music came with Staten Island, from actually growing up and then going to school out there and then getting kicked out and eventually going back to school in Queens with my mom. So now, give or take, I'm around 15 years old, 16. So I go to Queens and no school wants me, okay? Wow. My mom had to really go hard to get me into school. No high school wanted me. So she ends up getting me. So listen to this closely, guys. She ends up getting me into school in Flushing, Queens, which is like 45 minutes from my home in Jamaica. Okay, it's called John Brown High School, okay? So now when I go to this school, all right, I happen to just befriend the person who nowadays you call him Large Professor. Okay, that's my everyday homeboy in school. Like, we meet up every day. We, you know, would just meet up in the morning, have breakfast. We would hang out, you know, just hang out in school. So me and him got real close, okay? I call him Paulie. But long story short, okay, I'm in school now. This is my buddy every day. I'm from another hood, from his hood. I'm from Jamaica, and he's from Flushing. So it was like, you know, there's always neighborhood things going on. You know, Left Rack, that's a neighborhood you may know about, let's say, Capone and Noriega, Acanelli. Left Rack is pretty known on the musical scene for, you know, hip hop as well as sports. Got a few, Kenny Anderson, he's from out there, I think, an NBA player. So long story short, let's get back to me and Bound and how I'm friends with who you know today as Large Professor. So at this time, I'm in this school now. You know, mind you, I get kicked out of every school. So that's the story. That's how this thing. But
so what was that because of your behavior, or?
Yes. I was very academically inclined. 95, 90s on everything, math, even Spanish. I learned Spanish, which I know today because I did so well. Academics was not a problem. It was just my behavior, temper, you know, I was in that type of thing. My environment, you had to be that way in my environment, coming from South Jamaica, Queens. You know, it was really rough. And then visiting Park Hill on the weekends as a kid, like, people didn't know about Staten Island at all, but I mean, it was a very dangerous place that the other four boroughs or the world didn't know about. Like, if you said Staten Island to anybody in New York, they're like, what, Staten Island? Oh, no, I ain't going out there. That's the Boondocks. Oh, it's so corny. It's this, that, and they didn't know about the music. They didn't know about, like, a ghetto, a community. They didn't understand the good, beautiful parts of it. There's mobsters out there. There's mansions out there. And it's definitely dangerous hoods. So that being said, let's get back to Queens now, you know, where the music now continues because, you know, the interest has been sparked. And so now, like I said, I'm in school, John Brown High School, with my everyday friend, which is Large Professor nowadays. And while I'm in school, he happens to come out. I'm looking out the front door. Okay, so he's going to the studio, he's getting into this music, and he drops the single while I'm in school. He drops it, he comes out first. Okay, so now he drops that and it goes crazy. It goes crazy. My boy is in the video. We just amped at the school, like, oh, yo, Paulie, yo, you know, because he was never really the type to really advertise that he was really in the music this deep. So when he came out, everybody was like, oh, you know, people in the hood knew, but like everybody didn't know because he was so humble with it. You know what I'm saying? So when he came out, the whole school was going crazy, like, oh, shoot, yo, so it was a great time because he came out and it just brought the light on the school. I'm looking at the front door. That's his first single. That's my buddy.
Yeah.
So it's going crazy now. So now on top of that, now you got Akinelli who goes to my school. So he comes out now and he drops, you know, excuse me for explicit, put it in your mouth. He's in school with us. Yes, so he drops that while he's in school with us, Akinelli. And then you got another female group, one of the first female groups, and a lot of people don't mention them, but they're called Finesse and Sequence. They're called Finesse and Sequence, and if you do a little background, they're from Left Rack as well. One is from Left Rack and one was from South Side, my neighborhood, South Jamaica, so to be respected. And they ended up coming out with another song on Uptown Records under Heavy D, RIP, and at the time, Andre Harrell. So they were part of the beginning of Uptown before like Diddy was Diddy, like that part. So they had a deal and they came out with a single and it did real well. So these three artists are in school with me right now and they are my peers and my friends in school and they all come out the records right now while I'm in school. Okay, so now that's how that all really hit the fan. Like, oh, wow, my man right next to me doing this, like, yo, wow, you know, but I must admit, you know, the rapping, you know, I never really got that as far as putting the lyrics together. You know, I jiggle around with freestyling and stuff, but that really didn't catch to me. You know, I just had my people around me that, you know, took it very seriously. And I couldn't step up with my peers dropping the kind of lyrics that they were dropping. Like I'm telling you, from Wu-Tang on, you know, to Onyx, you know, on to Mobb Deep, like, you know, like, so I'm going to tell you that this way it gets heavy because now I'm fully intertwined into this music and I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm gonna have to learn this another way. So let's fast forward now. I'm in high school. I get kicked out of there, mind you. Okay, I get kicked out of there. I'm 15, I get kicked out in 1 year. I lost you guys. Are you still there?
Yeah, we're here, man. We're here.
Okay.
Don't worry. Keep going.
All right. I get kicked out of that school that year. All right. So now I'm like, wow, what am I gonna do? So in my neighborhood, I got haircuts, right? In the neighborhood barbershop, my barber was who you know today is Fredro Starr from Onyx. Okay. In my neighborhood, Fredro Starr and Sticky were the barber shops. They were the barbers in my neighborhood. They cut all our hair, all the street dealers, all the hustlers, everybody into the street. They were our hair. And, you know, not for nothing, educational purposes, my guys were dancers. They were very good dancers. They started out like that. So while they were cutting our hair, they'd let us know that they were working on the music. They're about to come out. So, you know, we were behind them. We were behind them, had a whole lot of support. Onyx, Fredro, they had a whole lot of support. And so they came out, okay? So now, here we go. They come out with Throw Your Guns in the Air, all right? So my hood goes crazy. Southside Queens, we go crazy. And after that, So now, you know, after that, we get Lost Boys. Lost Boys come out. They're from my hood, okay? So now they come right behind LB Fam. So now, you know, and one thing happens to another. At this time, everybody, we're talking about 92. We're talking about, hold up, let me bring you guys there real quick. We're talking about 1988, okay? 1987, okay? So now, skip up 2 years to 1990. Okay, somewhere around this time, an officer gets killed in Queens. His name is Officer Byrne, and you know where my neighborhood is known for, like, you guys might have heard 50 Cent talk about Fat Cat and Supreme Team and those things. Yes, that's my neighborhood. Actually, 50 Cent is from my neighborhood as well. All right, to put that there. So, right, 50 Cent and Nicki Minaj. Okay, they're from my neighborhood, like blocks, right. Like, okay, so that being said, that cop got killed, so everything was hot in the streets. And, you know, in this time, I'm in my street life. You know, if y'all know what that means, everybody's in the street now. They doing what they do, getting their money, you know what I'm saying? So this cop gets killed, and it's all because of street things, and the whole city's locked down. We have Mayor Giuliani. He creates what's called the TNT based upon that death of that cop. So this TNT runs down on everybody and lock them up, and even killing, you know, young black men and Latinos for nothing sometimes, just saying, you know, they had drugs and guns and so forth. But anyway, it was very hot in my neighborhood, so I had to relocate. So my cousin told me, come on out here. You know, it's a little cooler. Come on back out here. So I went to Park Hill, Staten Island, and I was good out there. Everybody know me, so I was right at home. You know, and when I went out there, I ended up going back into the street scene. You know, doing the street thing. You know, not to get into it, but not the most positive things. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I was doing out there. So, long story short, you know, Inspector Deck and Method Man, who you know is Inspector Deck and Method Man today, you know, basically, they would come by my house, you know, to get off, like take a little break from the street, so to say, you know, if it's raining out there or if it's just too much unhealthy activity, they'd come in my house and we'd sit down and we'll smoke a couple of bones. And, you know, I had a little beat machine and I'll loop up some beats and they were like, they'll start rapping over it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this was like a second visit. They came to my house one day. I looped up some beats and they were like, oh, yo, man, you messing with this music stuff? I said, sure. You know, I want to get, yo, come to the studio with us tonight. Meet our boy, meet RZA. You know what I'm saying? We about to put out some music, yo. We about to do a song. And yo, you can come get down with it. So I was like, all right, bet. So I went to the studio with them and I met RZA. I met who you know today, we call him Prince Rakeem or the Abbot. Yeah. And I met RZA. And, you know, he told me, look, we're working on a project right now. You know, you get in it and you get down with us and you help us push this out there to the world when it blow up. You know what I'm saying? We all gonna be there. This is a movement we making. So I said, cool. I said, listen, I know a lot of people in the industry already. You know what I'm saying? Because I was referring back to my brothers that I had already had musical touches with in Queens, you know, musical connections. So I knew, you know, if I get a good group and get behind them, that I could go out there and push it to DJs, you know, and make it big, make it known in the street, you know. So that being said, that was me getting with Wu-Tang. At that night right there, they were recording. I got to meet a lot of the artists that you know today as the Clan. They all came through recording. It was in a dark room, a dark studio with the most head-knockingest beats that you would ever hear in your life. Like when I heard them, I said, yo, this guy's incredible, man. And like I already knew the rhyming skills of who you call Raekwon today, Inspector Deck, Capadonna, I already knew that Method Man, already knew their rhyming skills because I was around them every day in the projects. So wow. I knew how they rapped, but I didn't know RZA at this time and how nice he was with these beats. So man, that was it. And then I stayed for that session and they laid down Proteck Ya Neck. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So now it's like when I heard these guys rap, I was like, oh my God, you know, I'm just dealing with the most incredible artist right here, man. I'm gonna give my blood, sweat, and tears and push this all the way. So when it came out, they pressed it up, you know, independently. RZA was definitely the brainchild that put all of these things together, put everybody, you know, from producers to, he put us all in a position that if we wanted better, and if we wanted to make something that, you know, he gave us something to go out there and really work hard for, you know, and that's how I felt about the project. I had to go out there and let everybody know at this time, nobody knows Wu-Tang, like outside of maybe local, you know, areas on the island or family members that's outside that live in the outer boroughs that's, you know, pumping the name. So it was like, once we got the single together now, you know, everything was like out the trunk. These guys were doing it out of their pockets, out the trunk. You know, we were on the trains with these records in our arms. We were, you know, walking record store to record store, you know, and going to every neighborhood just to get it known in the streets. So I came in and let me take you guys back to one important factor too that's gonna come up later. Just before I had moved to Staten Island, okay, I went to a skating rink one day out in Long Island, me and my buddies. And while I was in there, these was my days, like when I said I was in the streets. So I was shining, looking like a rapper at this time. So when I go in the skating rink, there's other people in there skating around. But I remember, you know, I seen this guy in there standing out, and he had a whole, like, a designer outfit on, and it was all these different colors, and he had a hat on with it. And, you know, ironically, he approached me like, hey, yo, what you do? What you into? I was like, nothing really much, you know, I do my thing in the streets or whatever like that. He was like, oh, what? I was like, how about you? He was like, I rap. I was like, word? All right. So what's your name? He was like, my name is Busta Rhymes. They call me Busta Rhymes. So he's like, I was like, so what's good with you, man? What you doing right now? He was like, well, you know, listen, I'm about to sign a deal right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to sign a deal with Elektra Records right now. And I got a group called Leaders of the New School. So he was like, I was like, all right, bet. So I was like, cool, that's what's up. So he was like, you know, I need to link up with somebody like you know what I'm saying? So one thing to another, me and him linked up, you know, we started going to studio sessions. And this is before I get to Staten Island with Wu. We start going to studio sessions. I'm like everywhere with this guy, you know what I'm saying? Wherever he's going, I'm there. Parties, clubs in Manhattan, we're going everywhere, just showing his face. Radio stations, Hofstra University, Stretch in Barbados, like we're going to all the underground radio stations, promoting Leaders of the New School. You know, he actually takes me. He actually takes me to Elektra Records with him to a meeting he has with the A&R, which is Dante Ross. So this is where I get to meet Dante Ross, the A&R for Elektra Records at that time with Busta. So, you know, now let's fast forward. Leaders come out, they, you know, get their numbers or whatever. Now I'm in Staten Island, and here we go. Wu-Tang is working on let's fast forward. Wu-Tang is working on this record, okay? Around the same time, it drops around the same time that Leaders drop there. They drop Case of the PTA. So now I'm pumping Proteck Ya Neck hard in the streets. I'm going to every club. I'm going to every club, every DJ. I'm walking straight up to the DJ, no matter who he is, telling him, put this record on right now. And he's like, who's this? Or you know, they had all kind of jokes with the names, you know, but I say, don't worry about it. Put it on. You're going to know who we are. You know what I mean? So the DJ would listen to it a few. Yes, I would go to any of the clubs, SOBs, the Tunnel, whatever big club was rocking, whoever was the hottest DJ, I would take it to them. Underground radio, Stretch in Barbados, you know, Mr. C, Flex, I would go put it in all their hands. And so these are the DJs that I could reach. And I would go to all the local record stores, Rock and Soul, all the record stores in Queens, on the Ave, in Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn. I would go to Tower Records, HM, try to get the record in the store. A lot of times when you're independent, this is how I got to learn about the early distribution, because when you're an independent label, a lot of times the big mom and pop stores don't like to deal with you. They like to deal directly with the majors. Yeah, it's more like on a consignment basis that they're getting the records in the store. So with someone that's independent, you may say, look, here's 1,000 records. Oh, can I get paid for them right now? Or can I get paid in like 10 days? Whereas the record label is not worried about it. They'll ship them 1,000 records and not worry about it for 3 months or 4 months, because they don't need it. But the independent guy, he needs it to turn around so he can reinvest it in marketing and promotions, you know, flyers, T-shirts, magazine ads, so forth. So that was the thing there of just getting the notoriety to the group, the name, the brand, the movement, you know, to bring that across to the public, to let them know that Wu-Tang was a movement, that it was a way of life, you know, and that's where we came in. Yes, the music at that time was what we would say today, bubblegum rap. You know, it was so it was like we was able to change the trend and let people be more conscious about what they were writing and what they were putting out to the public, because people were just saying, you know, all kind of things that was irrelevant, you know, to the art form. So Wu-Tang brought back some honor. They brought back, you know, the prestige with hip hop, with being a supreme lyricist. And I saw that from day one, and everybody knew. I mean, they would ask me, well, Dad, it's 8, 9 rappers on here. Like, how's everybody gonna get paid? That was everybody's question.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know, that was everybody's question. Like, hey, have so many artists. Like, how's everybody gonna get paid? So, you know, back then it was unheard of. You know, like a group to come in and really just branch off and get separate deals.
Never done before.
Wu-Tang Clan rocks the world.
Well, our special guest, you know what I mean? Former Wu Management. In my eyes, you're still Wu Management.
For life.
Klass is on this show, man. The question I want to ask you, sir, is that you know, I've watched the American Saga, right? I've watched the American Saga, and it shows like RZA and Raekwon and Ghost. They're struggling to get the Protect Ya Neck record out, right? They're on the phones. They're going to record, you know, record joints and all of that, trying to put the record out. But you did it differently, man. You know what I mean? Was that cause you to become the management for the Wu-Tang? Was that what it was? Because you knew where to go, you knew how to approach it to get the record? Is that how you became manager?
Yeah, yes, more or less. It was like I wore a lot of different hats when it came to management. So that's I would do promotions, marketing, and eventually distribution of Wu-Tang records. So all of those facets, whatever needed to be done, I was willing to get it done. Some things I knew better than others. And most of all, I believed and had faith behind the group and the project. So I would go to any DJ, any label and say, look, play this. Look, check this out. They're the greatest. They're going to be the greatest. And if they didn't want to listen, I'd be like, you'll be sorry.
Oh, man.
You know, so.
You are just like the management to have. You're the management that anyone should have. You gave that group your blood, sweat, tears, everything.
Yes. I mean, put it like
to
this.
Make that masterpiece.
I never slept. Once the project was there, I never slept. I would always be trying to go out and promote and market it, you know, whether that be, you know, getting it played in the club or going, putting up stickers and plastering spray paint W's all over New York, you know, putting stickers everywhere, all over the country, wherever we could go. I put the gold sticker with the black W in it, and, you know, that was it. Whatever in the street, wherever we could go to put that W, that's what we were doing. And make sure you know the name and the music and the brand, and that's what we was pushing. We the greatest. We coming. You know, we knew that we were a solid team. Yeah. And RZA covered every base. He had people that did music. He had people that run to promote the group. You know, people that run and try to press it and finance. And, you know, he had it all figured out, you know, and thankfully everyone that he picked was really, really, you know, good at what they did. You know, that's why it all worked out. Everybody did their part. You know, everybody had a job to do. And, you know, I didn't mind wearing more than one hat. You know, I just wanted us to win. I didn't care about if I was asked to do 5 or 10 things. You know, maybe sometimes Klass was all over the place doing too much, but I never felt it was enough because I couldn't sleep until everybody knew this record, till everybody knew this group name. Then I could sleep. So, you know, that's how it was.
You know what,
Klass? You know?
All that work has paid off because they are everywhere. Everyone knows the Wu-Tang Clan. Everyone knows the members individually, as artists individually, as well as being in the Wu-Tang. So that hard work has paid off. We want to see more of you. We want to see you out there. You know, everyone knows now that you are the king.
Yes,
of the Wu-Tang.
Thank you so much. Blessings. I'm very humbled to have this love and this support. You know, and just to reach out to the public right now and let them know that I'm a pioneer of the hip hop culture. I love it. You know, I'm here to push it further, to add on, get to know me. I'm not going anywhere. If you don't know me, get to know me. You can go to Google, John Klass Hamilton. You can go to Instagram, John Klass Hamilton. just do your research, and there's a lot of other artists that I'm involved with that came from the Staten Island camp. Dark Skin Assassin, Pop the Brown Hornet, Shaheem.
Hey!
Yes, yes, Shaheem, and there's another group from Staten Island that's called the Now Born Clique. Actually, my cousin is a producer for their first songs, their first 3 songs, Shaolin Anthem. So it's like I've been tied in with a lot of like helping people to get their music out there from the early stages of their career. You know, these guys are still out there doing their thing. They're putting out great music, great projects, you know, and I'm just here to continue and add on. That's it, to be an asset, to let everybody know what I'm behind. And Wu-Tang ain't going nowhere, Klass ain't going nowhere. You know, I love my brothers. I'm playing, we're legends, and I'm paying homage to the legends. And thank you very much.
That's okay. Klass, you are class. So we've got a lot to look forward to then. Anything new coming out that you'd like to share with us, Klass? Because you're up there, you're out there, and you must have something maybe secretly tucked away you don't want to talk to us about yet. Or maybe you do want to share it on the RePPiN4U Hip Hop Show first, so we know about this first. But I know you got something new coming out. Sure,
I'm working on a few projects. I'm working with Yusef. His name is Yusef Ali. I'm working with Kim Alves. They have a film that's called American Immigrants. So I'm doing the promotions and the marketing. On that film. It just got picked up, by Tubi and Netflix. It's a documentary highlighting the homeless crisis in New York as well as the world, because anybody could be homeless. So, you know, when you see it happening in any state, it reflects to any country. You know what it feels like. So this movie here is bringing attention to that crisis right now. And I'm promoting it, I'm marketing it, I'm managing the actor in it. His name is Yusef White. Y'all check out for this. Check out for this documentary. It's powerful. Yes, with movements. I'm all about movements right now. I'm also working with a sister by the name of Karasa, and she's part of the Wu-Tang camp, and definitely helping her with the Wu-Tang Clan radio, which that'll be up and running soon. Wu-Tang Clan radio. Yeah. And there's other things that I'm in the talks with right now with the clan, and hopefully I'll be on some other projects in the future.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant. That's what's up, man. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Man. Yeah,
my brain
man.
is getting excited. It's dancing. You can't see, but my brain is dancing.
Yes. Thank you. And it's a blessing. Definitely is. You know, we put a lot of music out there so that we can let you know that people are going through struggles everywhere and that they can make it out once you have faith in yourself and once you take time to, you know, polish and hone your skills. And most of all, you have to believe in God or Allah, whoever it is that created everything. You have to have God in it if you want to win it. So that's what we're here to do. We care about the women, the children, the animals, the earth, and we want to drop knowledge. You know, we have 5% background, Israelite background, Baptist, Christians, all in the background of the Wu-Tang family. You know, we don't judge you. You know, we deal with you on just the facts, reality. We're not here to judge. And we just care about the most vulnerable, and that's these children. So Wu-Tang for the children, that's what we want. We want them to learn. Yes, we want them to learn that you can make it out of your hard situations. Okay, just believe in yourself. Okay, and don't be lazy. Invest in yourself. Okay, there's a lot of people that have talent and they're afraid to invest in themselves. Okay, so that's what you have to do. Don't go buy the $300 sneakers. You know, you can go to the studio with that. you know? You can pay
Yeah.
for you, you know? So believe in yourself and keep faith in yourself and keep pushing hard, and you will make it, you know? Nobody's just gonna give this to you, you know? It's a competitive business. Whether you're an artist or even an executive, you know, everybody want to win. It's about the dollar in the end, but we have a purpose. You know, we want to see the young. We want to see them grow. We want to see them not kill each other out here. You know, the movement that I'm on right now is just, I don't want to see these young kids dying no more. Okay, when I come in, I want to do something positive. You know, there's other ways to handle it in the person's life. Look at yourself. He looks like you. She looks like you. Why do you want to take their life? There's another day tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It's not that serious to take a person's life, you know? And it's us, just the genocide of us. You know, I hope that the young people can listen to this and just find other ways. I understand that you may not always have the support or the guidance, or you may be missing things, or you may be hurt or broken, you know, no mom, no dad, no background, but put it in God's hand and he'll send you someone to help you through all of those tough times. But don't just throw it away and run out and be, you know, a menace to yourself, to society. You know, listen to people that have been there and that they don't want to see you make those mistakes, because everybody's not lucky to make it out. You either going to jail or you'll be dead.
True indeed, man. Wise words, man. That's what I love about my heroes. I can listen to them all day. That's how, you know, that's how it is, man. You know what I mean? Fantastic, man. Big up yourself each and every time, Class. There's so much, you know, there's so much I want to ask you, and yet I've got limited time, and it hurts, man. But boy, I mean, wow. Where do I even begin? Let's talk about some of these videos you've been in, man. You know what I mean? Can you talk through some of those memories? You know what I mean? Glaciers of Ice video, like one of my favorite Raekwon tracks of all time. I lost my mind when I heard that for the first time, man. The Sons of Man No Love Without Hate video, and I bet you, Class, you had holy for fun in the ice cream video. Yes. Come on, you ain't gonna lie.
Yes, I did.
Come on now.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes.
The ice cream video, man.
Oh, man.
Talk about it.
Yes, so Raekwon's ice cream video, that was filmed in my hometown of Jamaica, Queens at the Coliseum. This is where you go and buy all your jewelry, all your fly gear when you're going out for the night. Wu-Tang chose to film Raekwon's video, and it was a ball. They had a whole ice cream truck inside of the mall, girls with all the different butter pecan, chocolate deluxe shirts on. You know, all the brothers is there. You see Ghost, you see Ray, you see Understanding, you see every artist that, I mean, it was just outstanding. And, you know, you see me there, I'm tied up in the video. I got my head tied in a white bandana with a big fro. I'm linked up on the ice cream truck. You know, the girls are pretty much in front of me, and I'm just like on the side, just bobbing my head uncontrollably. Like you can see, like I'm just in a whole nother zone. Like, yes, you know, right where the ice cream window is there, you'll see a guy with a big fro with a white bandana tied around it and sunglasses on, and just the girls is in front of me, and I'm just like, my head is bopping till my neck is about to fall off. I mean, it's just, the song and the vibe was just out of this world. So yes, really enjoyed the ice cream video. Raekwon, salute, shout out. It was very fun. Sons of Man, No Love Without Hate. Okay, yes, those are my brethren. I love y'all. Shout out to Killer Priest. Shout out to 60 Cent. Shout out to Hellraiser. Shout out. Shout out to my boys, Sons of Man. So yes, this group here, you know, they were one of the first groups to be released on Wu-Tang Records. I basically had a hand in pressing, manufacturing, promoting, marketing, and distributing their first singles, which is Soldiers of Darkness, No Love Without Hate, respectively. And so this new group, this new sound, you know, some people was like, oh, this is horror rap. Like, okay, no, it's not. listen very closely. We're talking about Bible scriptures. We're talking about trying to lift up mankind. We're talking about trying to open up your third eye, open up your mind, trying to help you to see through the technology and the lies that, you know, society. We're trying to help you through the matrix. This is what I had to explain to everyone, you know, when it came to Sons of Man. So once they got to hear it and hear all the different styles, you knew like, oh my God, these guys, man, they're just masters at this, and their intellect goes back to the ancients. It's like their intellect goes back thousands of years. Like I've never seen no artist stand next to me who knew the Bible without reading the pages, knew the whole Bible front to back. I've never been around anybody. So it amazed me to see these artists like quote the Bible scriptures. Like I could just look at any page and they could call out the scripture and read it. So I was like, wow. So, you know, that had to be put out to the world. That energy had to be put out there to the world. And I had a great time doing it, you know, getting the record out, getting these guys together, you know, just building up their name as well, building up their image as well. You know, that video, No Love Without Hate, was very fun. You know, I ran around and got a lot of the garments you see them wearing in there. They were donated by, I think, DLO and Cybertech. So some new clothing designers that donated those clothes, and they were awesome. They looked like space suits. They were beige with these reflectors around them. They were really nice, and it was cold out there. But look, we had the whole crowd out there. We were on Franklin Avenue off of Fulton in Brooklyn. It was recorded, most of it. And it was cold. We had the hood out there with us, and it was excellent. And the video did well for them. You know, and they went on to do big and great things. And I'm very proud to have had a part of the beginning of their careers.
Amazing, amazing. You know what I mean? That wasn't done before at that time. You know what I mean? It wasn't done before, you know, rapping about science and quoting out the Bible and, you know, how it relates to real life and all that kind of stuff. That was never done before. You know what I mean? Before that, it was F the Police, or it was Party Records or things like that.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It was never, you know what I mean? Hip hop was never brought in that direction up until, you know what I mean? Up until the Sons of Man, up until the Wu-Tang Killer Army, all that great stuff, man. You know what I mean? And
the video taking it back into the cave days. Check out my gravel pit. They took it back even took it back to the cave days. Oh, something else.
And once again, that leads to back to the genius of the RZA, you know, because these were his hand-picked babies, you know. He all these groups came through the RZA. Everybody you see that's Wu-Tang family or Wu affiliated had to come through the RZA and get the okay. So these guys, he already knew, you know, their greatness, and he put them out as the first artists on Wu-Tang Records, and that, you know, that gave me an opportunity to work with the first group on that label. And, you know, I had a lot to do with setting the label up, you know, getting it functioning as far as, you know, promoting the name and marketing and setting up the UPC code and setting up everything so we could track things and keep track of radio play and distribution, because it was independent. So we was running these records to the stores ourselves. You know, I was on a bus, train, a car, cabs, you know, be in touch with logo and designers to do the artwork, the label work, the logos for the artists. You know, so the Sons of Man logo, actually got the artists to commission them to create that logo that you guys see out there. Very powerful. Very powerful. And that was done by a brother in England by the name of Dario. His name is Dario Sanchez, friend of mine from England. I think he lives in LA now. I haven't spoken to him in a while. So if you're out there, Dario, and you see this, holler at your boy Klass, definitely. But Dario Sanchez was the artist that worked on that. So that being said, you know, the second group on Wu-Tang Records was Killer Army. And they came out with their first single. And once again, you know, I had to give that same attention, you know, to try to break a new group again on this label, as well as, you know, learn the distribution deal of it. So we were going indies, so we had to go. I had to basically set up meetings with different independent distributors like Malvern, what's this, Redline, Big Daddies, Fat Beats. These are independent distributors that, you know, help you put your, like, they'll give you an opportunity to start your own label and they'll distribute for you. So that's how we were able to do Wu-Tang Records in the beginning until, you know, a major distributor came into play. So basically, you know, I'm the guy that, you know, help market and promote you from the ground up and, you know, get you hot in the streets, get you hot on the radio, promote, market you, your brand, build your brand, consult you on, you know, different avenues, what's best to enhance your career.
Wow, that is amazing, Star. That is amazing. You know what I mean? It makes me feel even more humbled and like more honored and privileged that, you know, RZA brought out the Wu Worldwide DJ Coalition in 2010, and then 7 years later after that, and I was pretty much handpicked by the guys of the coalition that I would be joining their team. I never saw that coming. I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? That's what I love about the clan, you know, always, up till now, 30 years later, always coming up with new ideas. Every time they'll always come up with new ideas. You know what I mean? Some are great, some are not so great. You know what I mean? But they come up with ideas nonetheless. No one, you know what I mean? Everyone follow the Wu. Wu-Tang don't follow nobody. You know what I mean?
Yep. Wu-Tang forever, Wu-Tang for life. That's it. We knew that from day one. We're not going nowhere. We're gonna be here forever. You know, our kids gonna be looking at Wu-Tang videos and doing their research on new material too, because that means we're gonna come out forever, for infinity.
I'm excited.
Yeah, this is not a group that you just gonna fade away. This is a movement, and this was all planned from the founders, Jizza, RZA. You know, those people put mastermind, ODB, RIP. Those people behind the scenes, Power, Divine. These are the people that mastermind. John Gibbons, Mike McDonald. These are the people that all mastermind and put this together from the inside, from the business and the artistic creative perspective, outside of the clan members, you know, Method Man, U-Guard, Master Killer, Ghostface, Capadonna, on and on. Inspector Deck, let's go. So this is a whole movement that was put together, and everybody played their part, and everybody know that they put their life into it, you know, and that's why this won't go anywhere. It won't go anywhere. It's not like, oh, something could be broken up. No, nothing could be broken up. That's everywhere. The tentacles are everywhere.
I agree.
You understand? Yeah,
it's everywhere.
No, this is not your average.
School with the bags, the logos, and you see the hats.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, nothing like that. It's worldwide, you know, so, and it's here to stay. There's nothing, because people love it. It's a culture. It's a culture, you know, it's besides a group, it's a culture. You know, people have Wu-Tang tatted on the side of their head, you know, on their face, you know, on their breasts, excuse me, everywhere. So, you know, yes, it's a culture at that point, you know, and, you know, just to be a part of that, I'm very happy. I'm very honored, you know, and enough respect to my brothers, my Wu brothers, you know, and I just look forward to being an asset and being a part of more great projects for the future and being a part of more great movements. Like I said, the movement now that I personally feel is to try to stop the young from, you know, destroying their lives, throwing their lives away, you know, all around the world, you know. There's slums and there's ghettos everywhere. There's suburbs everywhere. But right now, our young youth need attention. They need love, man. They need us older brothers really to and the older sisters to step out there and really embrace them, and not to, like, you know, make them feel like this is their fault and the way they're going and they're messing up the world. Let's go backtrack. Let's find out, you know, what went wrong, and let's get them to love each other. I don't want a brother to look at another brother's face and want to kill him or want to hate him. You know what I'm saying? And these are kids. They're getting younger and younger, 12, 14, You understand? So I feel like it's real crucial for them to have resources that they can be able to have at their access. So when things are not right in their life, they can go to those resources and find another way, you know, besides the wrong. So it's very important for these kids to know that somebody care about them out here. Most feel no one cares. So I feel that that's a great narrative. And once again, the unfortunate, the homeless, those that can't help themselves, you know, even animals, you know, we have to do a better job of taking care and looking out for those that are vulnerable, you know, because the world here is cold, it's cruel, you know, and we know that. So let's make a balance. It don't need to be all bad. It don't need to be all good, but it don't need to lean all towards bad, you know, let's balance it. So use your voice, use your power out there. To all the people out there that have the youth that'll listen to you, use your power and try to get these kids to stop killing each other, to learn and love again.
Right. Hence, a better tomorrow, right?
Definitely a better tomorrow.
Hence, a better tomorrow. Man, what a moment, man, right now, people. Klass, Wu Management, you know, one of the founding members of Wu Management. Yo, Klass, you know part 2 if this is going to happen, right? You know part 2 and part 3 and part 4 is going to have to happen with this. You know that, right?
Sure. Of course I do.
Klass?
And I'll be honest.
I want you to have your own TV show. I want to see you have your own TV show. That's what I want to see. Listening to you today, I would love you to be on this show forever and just stay and not leave.
Okay, well, I'm down for that. I would love to have my own show. I really feel like I'm informative and entertaining, you know, but informative. You know, I'm here for a better tomorrow, so to say, and I'm here to pass along good information. So yes, I need to speak to these youth. I need to speak to people who feel like nobody is there. And one more thing I'd like to highlight, you know, because Wu-Tang is for the children, all right? And I love that part about our movement, you know, and I stand by it. And listen, through my life, you know, I want to give an example here. Not only, you know, am I a father, you know, but at this time, I'm a single dad. Okay?
Whoa.
I'm a single father. I have 2 young daughters. Okay? They're 6 and 7. And I'm saying this to the men out there. I'm saying this to the men out there worldwide. Do a better job with your kids. Do not abandon your kids. Do not leave your kids. No matter what, stand there by your kids. Okay? They need you. Okay, no matter what the relationship with their mom, no matter if you don't have money in your pocket, do your job to be in their life. It means a lot to them and to society. And now for the mothers out there, please allow these men to be in their kids' life. Please allow the emotions not to be a part of it. Let them be a part of their life so that they can help you to guide them when there's trouble in the waters, so they can help you to raise them up to be the greatest that you want them to be. And if we can get this here and really look within ourselves and make this change and understand our responsibilities to each other, I think we can help society a lot right now. And I know a lot of our young brothers and sisters will stop dying and being locked up and incarcerated for senseless things.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, for sure. Let's end it on a higher note. Salutes. Let's end it on a higher note, real quick. Yo, you guys been on the, you know what I mean, you've been on the road, you've been on tour nearly 30 years, well, going 30 years. We're gonna have the 30-year anniversary next year and everything, you know what I mean? All that great stuff. But real quick, Klass, can you tell us one of your favorite stories about, well, being on tour with the clan?
Let me see. Yes, I take it was well, maybe some of you guys are like too young for it, but a great time was when we went down and we did the Freaknik in Atlanta, like our first Freaknik down in Atlanta, Georgia, and like we had the nice hotel on Peachtree. It was called the Occidental. And like, we had like the whole top floor was just off floor, Wu-Tang. And it was like that, when we went and did that show, the Freaknik, that, I think that was just the most exciting, fun event ever, because everybody was showing us love everywhere we went, man. Like, wherever we went. So I think the Freaknik, that was one of the better events that I remember.
Man, any stories pertaining to, like, say, ODB? Because, you know, ODB was that guy, man. ODB was the character, man.
R.I.P. ODB. Yes, ODB. Yes, my brother's very talented, A-Song Unique. He's very outspoken. He's funny, very knowledgeable, very smart, very high intellect. Love his family, love his kids, man. He has such a warm heart, my brother, you know, and he cared about these babies. You hear how I'm speaking about them? Everywhere he went, that's all he would talk about is the babies, these babies. You know, he had a lot of respect for the babies and the women, you understand? So, like I said, salute to ODB. And I'll take you to a story here now. When we were promoting and marketing Proteck Ya Neck, okay, now we're trying to like figure out what's going to be the next single, because we're doing good, we're touring, but we need something to jump it up again. So now RZA comes with Method Man, and he releases Method Man, M-E-T-H-O-D, man. So that gets us back on it again. That just gives, Meth just goes crazy. Everybody starts, you know, just going crazy when they hear the song. That gets our bookings up. We start touring all over again, city to city, because people are going wild and crazy for the M-E-T-H-O-D song. Method Man himself, you know, he turns to, you know, a heartthrob, sex symbol, you know, the ladies loving him. So that helped get us really going to the next level. So enjoyed that part. So now, you know, it's the time where that's doing well, and the deals start coming in for the single artists. You know, labels start inquiring. You know, they start asking me, RZA, you know, who different labels are acquiring. You know, so Def Jam, I think, was already in the works with signing Method Man, and from my knowledge, ODB, he wanted to also be signed to Def Jam as well.
Oh, for real?
Yes, he wanted to be signed to Def Jam, but so Method Man deal was already in the works. That's how that went. So ODB was like trying to figure out what label he wanted to go to. So, like I said, I was at the Wu office at this time on Bay Street. And basically, you know, he would call me and say, well, hey, what's going on? How you doing, class? Is anybody, what's the word out there about me, my project? You know, so I say, people loving you, man. They wherever we go, man, people are asking about you. So, you know, he asked me, he said, yo, tell me, you know, is any labels asking for me? So I had to tell him, me personally, yes. It's like 3 labels asking about him. One Epic, another one Penalty, and from I know Electra. Okay.
Right.
So now,
so
now I tell him that, and he says, "Yo, listen, get them on the phone. Listen, I want to meet them. You know, I want to make this happen, man." I was like, "Well, you know, listen, I think need to go through RZA, and is he good with it?" He was like, "Listen, it don't matter. It's my career, God. You know, I just want to go up there and meet him." He was like, "Set it up for me, and I just want to come up there and meet him." So I was like, "All right, well, you're gonna be up there at 8 o'clock in the morning." This was Time Warner, which is like part of Rockefeller Center in Manhattan. Right. This is the Time Warner building. So I asked him, you know, are you gonna meet me up there at 8 o'clock in the morning? So he said, of course, yes, I'm gonna be up there. So I got up there and I swore like I just was going up there for nothing. But I actually called Dante Ross, who was the A&R, and I had him waiting, and look, I'm bringing ODB up there today. Oh God, fabulous. great class. Oh my God. So
Wu-Tang Clan rocks the world.
yeah, so you know, Dirty met me, and I took him upstairs to meet with Dante. Dante called the president of A&R. They came in, showed him around the whole label, showed them their different staff, marketing, promotion, video, showed them their staff, showed them the whole office, and Dirty loved it. He was like, "This is my home. This is where I want to be at. You know, this is where I want to be." So, you know, everybody, they were ecstatic. Like, it was ecstatic to have him there. You know, and he was ecstatic, and he was like, "Look, man, I got to do this right now. You know, I want to definitely sign." So from that, you know, I let RZA know. I got in touch with RZA and say, "Look, you know, ODB, you know, right now, Electra's ready for him. They want him." So I was like, I took him up there, he met with him. So he was like, "All right, so who you spoke to?" And I told him, I got him in touch with Dante, and, you know, the deal went forward from there. You know, that's how it went. That's how he ended up, you know, eventually getting signed to Electra. RZA and the rest of the team, Divine, sat down and they made the deal happen, and he ended up on Electra. Yes.
So now, true or false, Class? Did you have any? Because True say you knew Buster from Leaders in the New School, so he was already with Electra. Was he already with Electra at that time? With
yeah.
I mean, when Dirty signed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me.
He was already signed.
Buster was already there. Okay. So let me ask you this: true or false? Did you play a role in getting Old Dirty and Buster together to do the Woo-Ha remix? Did you play?
No.
No way.
No. When they did the video and all, the video with the suits on and everything.
Yeah.
The remix. Yeah. The Woo-Ha remix, it possibly could be, because that was around the time that he got signed, from my recollection. That's what you mean? It's around the same time.
Yeah.
I think that was like, soon as he got signed, I think that project was like one of the first. They linked him with the Busta Rhymes Woo-Ha remix in the video. That was right, like a little after he got signed. Yeah. But I didn't, like, per se make that happen. But I knew that Bus wanted to work with Wu-Tang. Like, he had already let me know that. You know, I knew he wanted to work with Wu-Tang though.
Yeah.
And they knew that he was my friend. They knew he was my, like, personal friend.
Oh man. Because real quick, Class, let me tell you this story. Right. What happened was Busta Rhymes came out, Woo-Ha, and I went crazy. So that really brought out me as a character. I mean, you know, Busta Rhymes all animated and jumping up and down and going crazy and doing everything. And I thought, yeah, man. And everyone was going, you know, everyone around me, everyone in the neighborhood, everyone in the neighborhood was like, yeah. Just
and it was a Night Rider, the car, Night Rider. Yeah. That was it for me.
That's another story on top. That's another story. You know what I mean? So
Night Rider did it to me.
Night Rider, Busta Rhymes, Night Rider. So now
took over the world. That did. Everyone was silent. That played over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, and remember, put your hands where your eyes could see. Put your hands where your eyes could see. That was crazy. That went crazy.
Night Rider, you know. Oh my gosh! I mean, that's another story. That's another story as it is. I remember when I first heard Woo-Ha for the first time, and I said to my cousin, I saw the video, and we were laughing our heads off because the video was that funny. And then I said to my cousin, no word of a lie, I said, can you imagine if Busta Rhymes and ODB came together and did a song? Next thing I know, no word of a lie, it was like 10 minutes later, we heard it on the radio, we heard the remix, and we was like...
It went real crazy. Yeah. They wanted to make that happen. Yeah, I'm sure that, yeah. Elektra, that was a great move for them to put them together, and it was mutual. They wanted to work together. So you know, and Buster's like a family. Like that's like a real brother of mine. Like when I say like I got to really like we friends. I know his mom. I know his brother. Been at his house. Like when before the Leaders days. Like when he was still at home. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we really I love him, man. Salute to him, man. I mean known him like it's 25, 30 years now. You know, and you know everything he's done, man, is just out of this planet, man. I've been there from the Janet songs to the Mariah Carey. You know, I've been my brother. Wherever I see him, is this salute. It's the love right there, man. You know, you see him, you say your brother Klass said, "What's up, bro?" You know what I'm saying, and that's that.
Busta Rhymes. I remember, Onni. I remember when Onni. I don't think I've ever told you this story. I remember when Knight Rider did come out, and we were out here. Me and my boys, we went out clubbing, right? You know, back in the early days when we were young and we were scared we might not get in the club. And it was one of them clubs, Klass, where they played pure dance music. It was pure dance music, right? So we were there trying to catch girls. You know what I mean? We didn't really care for the music. We were just there trying to catch girls because, you know, that's what was happening. Anyway, the DJ decided to be brave. Right? The DJ decided to be brave. Keep in mind, this is a club where it was like mostly like white people up in there, right? So you have a few black people, you have a few Asian people in there. Okay. So now just heard pure dance music, dance. Next thing you know, he decides to put on Busta Rhymes, Knight Rider. When it was over.
Went crazy. Went crazy.
The whole night went crazy. Black people appeared out of nowhere. And took over. Asian people, the Indian people that came out of nowhere took over that dance floor. That's the truth. I was like, holy stuff, everyone went mad.
Yeah, because everything Busta do is high energy. He has high energy, so you can't sit down when a Busta song come on. You can't. You got to get up. It just blacks you up.
If you really want to know with me,
he knew. Yeah, from scenario on up, he's always been with the Dungeon Dragon. Yo, that's his whole thing. Get you up partying, get you up shaking it. You can't sit there.
Look what
Another great lyricist that I'm involved with.
Look what happened now with the New York State of Mind tour. Wu-Tang, Nas, and Busta.
Busta Rhymes.
I heard they put Busta Rhymes, they made Busta Rhymes join them, and I was like, that's it, it's over. That is it, it's over. There's only one thing they need to do.
That's untouchable right there. That's the real hard way. You can't touch that tour right there.
They need to bring Wu-Tang, Nas, Busta. I don't know who's their manager. I don't know who's the tour manager. I don't know who's running it. Whatever they need to do, to bring that New York State of Mind tour. Bring it to make it to London State of Mind tour. To do that, game over.
Back to Klass, because you are the man, because you've given us these wicked and amazing artists and put them all together in a group. Back to Klass. Yeah, so now we've got these great artists, and we know about these great artists like Busta Rhymes, Method Man, ODB, because of Klass.
Yeah.
Man.
He delivered them to us all in a group, which was a masterpiece. That is still a masterpiece, and is forever going to be a masterpiece.
All right. Thank you so much. I thank you, Holly. I was just blessed to be in the right place around some great guys, man. Some real knowledgeable, you know, they take pride in what they do. They take pride in their skills. And that was from day one. No matter what was going on in their life, when they go in the booth, they gave their best to be an expert and to make sure that they point get across and that they didn't sound like anybody, that they were unique, creative. Mm-hmm. Like if you was in the studio and if somebody said a line and it sounded like somebody, you know, another artist to interject, be like, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? Even if it was just a little, even if it was a smidgen, they'll be like, So super perfectionists, these guys, man. Yeah. And they could sit and they could write so quickly. You know, I'll sit there and watch them write a rhyme in like 2 minutes, just go in the booth and do it like once or twice, and it's done. So Only certain artists that I've seen do work like that. And, you know, that was Wu-Tang, that was Buster. You know, these guys are like 1-2 take guys. You know, they don't really do it 5, 10 times. They get it done in 2 takes, man. You know, Buster can do it in 1 take in the studio. And that's it. That go out to the world. That's a smash. Go in there, boop, 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 and it's done to the world. So I watch people who take their craft very seriously from day one. And I've been, like I said, in the early stages of my career, learning the music industry and dealing with different people in my hood, trying to go to the studio. They're being there, going through it for 2 hours, 3 hours. This was like the 15, 16 years before I made it in. Like there was a few people that I was working with. Shout out, you know, Terror Dome. But yeah, it'd take a long time to get work done. But these guys always been proficient with their pen. And just to be a part of that, I was in the right place at the right time. And I was thankful that I had the drive. I was young, ambitious. I knew I had love and passion for the music industry. I knew I had love and passion for the guys, Wu-Tang, every member of it. I believed in it. The hood, Park Hill, Stapleton, shout out to Staten Island. You know, I was living in that whole everything, the era with them, the golden era. I was out there doing what everybody had to do to survive. And, you know, when we came with this great movement, you know, I was so happy to be a part of it. Thanks to Meth and Inspector Deck for bringing me, you know, into the camp, and then RZA giving me the opportunity. And all I did was just take it and run with it with all the different people that I met throughout Queens and Brooklyn, throughout my music travels. I just took who I met, where I met, and I would just go for it with this new project, you know, and it worked out, you know. Like I would never sleep. Like I said, if these guys was out on the streets doing what they doing, I'll be in Manhattan somewhere promoting the group, promoting the club. Wherever they was doing what they like, they could be asleep. And I'll be out somewhere promoting this club, promoting this single everywhere. So I never slept when it came to, you know, the project, Proteck Ya Neck, all the way on to Sons of Man. I rarely slept. I was always up and about promoting the name, you know, you know, Method Man, let's go to that single. You know, he got the Rhyme of the Month for that, you know, in the Source magazine. So, you know, that was something that, you know, I was able to help put that together. His, you know, his first interview with Source magazine, Rhyme of the Month. And that was a big honor for him, you know, and that was an honor for us all together just to see, you know, he was the first Clan member for his to be chosen for the Rhyme of the Month with the METHOD. So, you know, I accompanied him on that trip to the Source magazine, you know, and RIP to, you know, my good friend Chi Modu, who's the photographer for Source magazine at the time. I think he passed away last year or this year, but RIP to him. But yes, you know, so that write-up got done with the Source, and it was a hit, 1992 Source magazine. And, you know, ironically, they happened to put me in the photo with me, you know, and that really happens. That really happens, you know, because that's that person, you know, honor for writing the Rhyme of the Month. But somehow I was in the background picture and it got printed, you know, like, and that's just like, wow, just a claim for that moment that, you know, I was there. You know, we took over 1,000 pictures on the rooftop for that magazine, for that shoot, Rhyme of the Month. I was with Meth, you know, we went on that together. And, you know, I always remember things like that, you know, and, you know, to see where everybody went in their life and their career, just to be a part of it is just a great thing inside of me, you know. And if you know me and if you know what I've done in this industry, you know, salute to that, you know. And if you don't know, hopefully you get to know, and, you know, hopefully we can come together and work on future projects. Now, yeah, if you don't know, hopefully you know. You know, things happen in life, you know, and that's God's calling, you know what I'm saying? But now God's putting me in the position where he want me to be. He want me to be with my brothers. He want me to be an asset. You know, he want me to be a voice out here to speak for the less fortunate. He want me to be one to help the youth out. He want me to keep doing great things, you know, on the music and the arts tip, you know, just to bring great things to the public, you know. He wants to see me be a part of the great movements that we're making out here. So, you know, I thank you once again, RePPiN4U radio show. I thank you, Michael Grant Harvey. I thank you, Queen Sister, for this opportunity. and this is John Klass Hamilton. I'd like to thank the whole UK, you know, shout me out, tap in with me on Instagram, tap in with me, John Klass Hamilton on Instagram, tap in with me on Facebook, John Hamilton. Well, hopefully, you know, because that's a real common name, but you know, I think you should know my face if you see me. You know, that's a common name, John Hamilton, you know, so I think you guys should know my face. Google me, Google John Klass Hamilton, so at least you'll know what my face look like, you know, because you might see my name and see a white guy face to it and be like, hold up, you know, wait. It's a common name. It's no pun intended to y'all, but you know, yes, find me, and yes, I'm here. I'm in the field of music consulting, managing, marketing, promoting, enhancing brands, influencer, you know, also activist. Yes, these are my goals right now.
Well, the ultimate goal, that's what's up, man. The ultimate goal for us, you know what I mean? One of our ultimate goals is to get a clan on themselves on this show. You know what I mean? Whether it's all of them or say Inspector Deck or Capadonna or you know what I mean, or Ghost or any of them. That's the ultimate goal, you know what I mean, is for them to one by one appear on this show. Big shout outs to Hellraiser, Heaven Raiser. He's been on this show. Big shout outs to Don Pacino of Killer Army. He's been on this show. Big shout outs to Intel, You Godson. He's been on this show.
Big up.
You know what I mean? Big shout outs to Pop the Brown Hornet.
You know what?
Pop, big up.
I just couldn't imagine having Busta Rhymes on this show. It's a good job my hair is natural, because if Busta Rhymes came on this show, if I had a wig on, I'll be taking the wig off.
Oh, man.
That's how I would feel on that interview. If I had a wig on, I'd literally I'd take my wig off if he actually came on the show.
Well, I believe it's all possible. I really do think that you guys need that New York State of Mind tour date to come out to Birmingham or to come out to Piccadilly Circus, or you know, I think you guys need it in the UK, and that'll definitely be an opportunity to advertise the show and to get to speak with every clan member, Nas and Busta, because they'll be there for, you know, a big event, you know. So I think, you know, if you out there hearing this, you promoters out there in UK, you know, try to get the New York State of Mind date added, you know, to your venue out there. You can call Divine or Power Wu-Tang Management, you know, reach out. But that would be great. That way they could come and do all these drops and do shows for you guys and all the other, you know, Tim Westwood and so forth, but not to mention them, but you guys.
Nah. It's not about Tim Westwood no more. It's not about Tim Westwood no more. I mean, big
Timmy, Tim, what you did to my peoples, Tim? What you done to my peoples, man? Dang, Tim. All right, man, but yeah, we gonna bring it to y'all first. We gonna bring it to y'all first. That's how it goes. And let's make it happen.
Yo, Klass, I'm gonna be real here, right? Big ups to Tim Westwood in his own right, because if it wasn't for Tim Westwood, you know what I mean, he's one of my personal influences anyway of this show. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You can hear the Tim Westwood energy, you can hear the Tim Westwood influence, the Funk Mass Effect's influence all through this show. You know what I mean? That's one thing I can say. But in this time, 2022, 2023, Tim Westwood is not the guy to call.
We gotta call Michael Grant Harvey. That's who we gotta call.
That's right. You gotta call me now.
Body P in the building. Body P.
You gotta call Grant Body P now. You gotta call Onni D now. We take over. This is no joke. You see, that's us on the wall. Okay.
That's it. Everybody get their time to shine. Everybody get their time to shine. It's P Grant time.
Tim did his thing. Tim represented, but we take over now. We take over. We continue the legacy.
We take over. Done Northern way. Done Northern way. Sin.
Hey,
Timmy, you're done.
There you go. I was wondering when. I was wondering when the accent was gonna come out. You know. You know what I mean?
My boy in the ram. My boy Mike in the ram. Eh? My boy Mike in the ram.
Me no ram. Me no ram. You know what I mean? When me tell people, acknowledge me. Say it to me, okay?
Man, not easy, man. Go on.
Not easy.
I'm
Right.
loving it. I'm loving the accent. I'm loving it.
And big up to all my yardies out there, all my yard youth, all my Jamaican, African them out there in the UK. Big up to all of them.
That's right. You know what I mean? Salute each and every time, man. Big up yourself, Klass. BDSIR Network, the best damn show in worldwide radio. Free Rocks the Spot R920. International Fleet Radio. Sponsored by Got the Jewels. Who got the jewels now? And Klass, I sincerely hope if you was to come out here, if you do plan to come out here, let us know. Let us know. And then
okay, we're gonna make that happen. I've been out there once. Piccadilly Square, Piccadilly Circus. I've been out there once. I stayed in that area. Yes. So I would love to make another trip there now. That was a long time ago. Things are very different there, I'm sure.
Yeah, man.
But
yeah, man,
we're gonna put this together.
Happen, man.
We're gonna put this together.
Definitely,
Klass is
man.
gonna be there. Klass is gonna. Yeah, you're gonna meet me at Heathrow. You'll see me.
We're gonna make that happen, man. Surely, somewhere or another. And big shout outs to Yusuf as well, man. Big shout outs to Yusuf. I think that that's important right there.
American Immigrants, check it out on Tubi, Netflix, all platforms coming to you. 2023, American Immigrants, Yusuf Ali White, starring. Very powerful documentary on the homeless crisis in the world. It's really New York, but it's talking about the world. So please tune in. Once again, American Immigrants.
That's right, man. American Immigrants. I'm gonna look out for that, man. Keep my eyes and ears open. So look, you know what I mean? This has been a complete takeover. We're talking Wu-Tang Management in the building, man. You know what I mean? Acknowledge Klass. Acknowledge him.
We acknowledge Klass. We see Klass.
Klass. John Klass Hamilton. Big up the show. Wu-Tang forever. Tune in. Got more flavors coming your way. More flavors. Check us out on Wu-Tang Clan Radio.
And on that note, shout out to the whole coalition, man. Shout out to Mook, Divine, RZA, the coalition itself, JU Ice,
Mathematics,
Shamika, the whole of them, Boss Lady Brit, the whole of them.
The whole of them. Yes, man. Massive.
That's what's up, man. Yo, this is Grant Body P alongside the Onni D, man. Yo, you just heard a classic, man. You just heard a classic. Talk about Klass. Wow. That's how we're doing it, man. Yo, I don't know about you, Onni, but I'm going for my big piece of chicken. And that's how it's gonna go, man. That's how it's gonna go. Yo, salute up until the next time. You know what I mean?
Hey yo, this is Klass from the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers album. I just want to shout out all my peoples out in East New York, Brooklyn, South Jamaica, Queens, Rockaway. You know what time it is? Uptown, Harlem, Bronx. Let's get it, Shaolin. Alright, I just want to shout out all my peoples. And most of